Our next candidate is Rachel Mello. She is a candidate for Texas Senate District 8. She's running against Republican incumbent Angela Paxton. Welcome, Rachel. I'm so glad you're here. Can you tell us a little bit about who you are and why you're running for office?
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you for inviting me to participate tonight. I, my name is Rachel Mello. I am running for Texas Senate District 8. I am a full-time public school teacher. I have been a public school teacher for 15 years. I have worked in the charter school system here in Texas. And then before I came to Texas, I worked in Louisiana. I was employed in Louisiana when they uh, began to implement their voucher system. So I have kind of seen firsthand how these dominoes fall and what is on the horizon for our public school system if we allow that to happen here. I have 3 children. My oldest is a junior, so we are right in the midst of getting ready to send him off to college. I have a middle schooler that's going to transition to high school next year. And then I have an 8-year-old that's in 3rd grade. And my heart really is for her. My boys, they're almost grown, but I look at my little girl and I look at what's happening around us, and I really fear for her future and what might happen if things don't change in the state.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I can feel that. Rachel, I have a kids that are just a year older than your kids. So I have a son that is 10, and then I have two seniors in high school. So, it happens really fast, and same concerns about my children. So I can identify with what you're saying. So, can you tell us what are the three most important reasons and things that you are running for in your district that would really make a positive impact in your district while you run for them?
Okay, so the my district covers Collin County as well as Hunt and Rains County. So it's a very diverse district. We've got the uber urban areas in Plano, McKinney, Allen, um, lots of money, lots of well-off communities in those areas. And then we have Hunt and Rains that are more rural. And one of the things that I'm finding that has kind of been surprising is that as I go out and talk to members of the community, even in the more rural areas, the top issues are the same. And it doesn't matter if you're in Collin or if you're in Hunt or if you're in Rains, the top 3 things, they're the same. It's the education, the voucher system, the healthcare and women's reproductive rights, and housing prices. And those are the things that are really at the top of mind, no matter who I talk to in my district. It's one of those 3 things. So, as far as education, the voucher system, like I said, I worked in Louisiana. I saw this implemented there. I saw the impact that it had on schools. I'm very concerned about what it may do here because I've seen it happen before. We're already seeing programs start to be cut in Keller ISD. If you're following what's happening there, they're laying off a lot of educators in their system because funds have been mismanaged and they don't have kind of this rainy day fund that some of our better off districts have. So they're making major cuts. That's kind of a preview of what's on the horizon if we don't get this funding from the state that our schools need. And then when you look at that in our rural areas in Hunt County, if there are private schools at all, they're in Greenville. And so the more rural communities, I couldn't find any private schools in Rains. So we have whole counties that don't have private schools at all. So these communities are going to be sending tax dollars to the state and not getting anything back for those vouchers that are given to more wealthy communities. And that doesn't work for our communities who don't have a lot of resources to begin with. And then for healthcare, we talk about this as a women's rights issue. and we talk about this as women's autonomy. And I've really been sitting with this issue a lot because what I see is that pregnant women have lost the right to life. And I don't think, I haven't heard anyone else say that, but in the state of Texas, if you become pregnant, you no longer have a right to life because your baby is prioritized, which makes no sense because your baby cannot live without you as a woman to nourish that growing infant. And for us to, we're just going to prioritize a baby without any regard to what that does to the woman. We're not, and the other part of that is what happens to, we talk about this as birth control, and we talk about this as in crisis situations, rape, incest, minors. But what happens to the married woman who is in a safe relationship, who is pregnant with a child that she wants to have, but some freak accident happens? Maybe she's in a car accident. Does her husband have a right as the next of kin to make decisions about her care? Or has her husband also lost those rights because she's pregnant and the baby is prioritized, regardless of what happens to her? Does he get a choice? Or have the odds gone up that he's going to pay for 2 funerals instead of 1? Like, these are kind of the things that I'm thinking about. And yes, it is an autonomy issue. And yes, it is a woman's rights issue. And yes, it should be made between a woman and her doctor. But Texas has gone further than that. Mm-hmm. Texas has done something that, to me as an American and to me as a Texan, is just absolutely reprehensible. You have taken someone's right to life. You've taken it from half the population. You've done it without any due process. You've just unilaterally said, you as a pregnant person have no right to life. That's not okay.
And now your last issue. I'm gonna go back to this issue that you just mentioned, though, really quick. I'm gonna go back to this issue. You all, it's been a long time since men in this country forgot what it was like to lose their wives and their mothers to childbirth, because so many women have survived being pregnant. But I remember when my great grandmother, she had 12 kids, another grandmother had 8 kids, and it was just really hard on my family. But also, they lost children during childbirth. They lost family members who died during childbirth. And it's just been a really long time since people in America have had to deal with those things that used to be everyday occurrences across the world, because female maternal care, there just wasn't that much knowledge about it. So I think it is, I don't know what else to say. I feel like we have to turn the tables on men and hold them accountable to some degree for taking care of the women in their lives and in our lives. Like, we need to make sure that men know that it doesn't have to go backwards, that we can move forward with really good solutions by working together. So anyway, in my opinion. So go on. Rachel, tell us about your last item.
Okay, so the last thing that I had was housing prices. And again, this is an issue we're seeing in our urban communities as well as our rural communities. Our homeless numbers are rising, even here in Collin County, which is one of the wealthiest counties in the state. There are an insane amount of resources in Collin County. So it kind of blows my mind to watch, as an educator, to watch the law is called McKinney-Vento. This is the law that it codes a student as a homeless student. And to watch those numbers go up, the public doesn't have access to those numbers. It's considered a private part of the student's educational record. But I see that and I can watch those numbers rising and I can like this should not be happening in this urban area where we have so much. And my daughter's best friend, the
Mhm.
family was priced out of their home. They had to sell. They've moved into an apartment. She's going to have to transfer schools next year. So that's an issue that's impacting my household. But also in our rural communities, a lot of our elderly, a lot of our retirees, they move out to smaller communities because they have lower cost of living. But as the taxes go up, as the homeowners insurance goes up, as we continue to have natural disasters in the state and our insurance rates continue to rise, these people are being priced out of their homes and they don't have anywhere to go. And that is a problem because what we're seeing is that they are being displaced into,
Mhm.
for now, into apartments, but also into hotels, also on the streets. We're seeing those numbers rise. And it's very concerning. And like I said, it's in the urban areas and the rural areas as well.
Okay, so can you tell us really quickly where can we find you and how best can we support you right now while you're running for office?
Okay, so my website is mellofortexas.com. And all of my social media is linked there. So Facebook, Instagram, Threads. If you will go follow me on social media, that would really be great. Get those numbers up. And then also my Act Blue page is linked there. So you can click through on the donate button. It will take you right to my Act Blue page. And if you're able to make a donation, you can do it there. All from my website, mellofortexas.com.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rachel. It was a pleasure to meet you, and I look forward to seeing you on the campaign trail.